Good morning, everybody. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science here in New York City. Welcome to all of you signing in. Most of you are signing in on Zoom. We have a few people always on other social platforms, and those of you who are here with us in our studio audience. So it's an exciting day for us. We're thrilled that we have such a large group of people that are joining us every week for our Sunday lessons, our Sunday gatherings, as well as our Wednesday Creative Living series and our Thursday evening self-healing class based on the book You Can Heal Your Life with Louise. So I'm speaking a little bit because I know people are trying to get in now and signing. So whether you're here with us in New York in the studio or you're in your homes in distant countries or distant states, you're welcome. If you're a newcomer here, I want to give you a special welcome. And everybody, if you're not receiving our regular correspondence, please send us a private message in the chat. What we usually need is your email address and or your phone number. If you're able to add a phone number, we can send you a reminder for our Sunday lesson and any of our weekly classes. That's about it. So we're thrilled you could be here with us. Before we get into today's lesson, I have a little poem that encapsulates the journey of self-awareness, which we're talking about today. In the quiet of morning, before the world awakes, I tread the path of introspection, a journey my spirit takes. For the most profound adventures are those that set the spirit free. So now, that was it. It wasn't much of a poem, but now a fun mini quiz to get us started. According to New Thought philosophy, do you believe that our thoughts can shape our reality? So think about that as we delve into today's lesson. The road to freedom. Today we're delving into the road of freedom. Imagine walking on this road, not just paved with bricks or stone, but with the very fabric of our thoughts and beliefs. And speaking about beliefs, did you know that the philosopher Emerson, who said so many brilliant things, once made a curious comment? He said, God will not have his work made manifest by cowards. And I only recently encountered that one. Emerson championed the idea of our own individuality and not just following the herd. And he really wanted us to find our own individual voice, and he would say things like, God help us when a thinker is let loose upon the countryside. Nothing is safe. So he was encouraging us always to wake up and find our authentic self. And our teaching is always wanting us to find a way to live our best lives, our most authentic lives. Many times people live trying to please other people, and they live through their life and they don't know who they've come here to be or what they haven't really tapped into their true potential. So Emerson was, with that quote, he was saying, God won't have his work made manifest by cowards. I know he's encouraging us to step out there and discover what we're good at, discover where our passion lies, and have the courage to step forth and know that the universe will support you along the way. It's as though he was shouting, be original, or at least try to be original. And here's another fun tidbit. I remember my brother, it's the saying I used to say, I remember a time where I thought my brother was older than my father. That sounds confusing, I suppose, right? But in terms of curiosity and eagerness to learn and optimism, eagerness, my father had a much more youthful spirit, a bit like a teenager or young adult, whereas my brother was much more serious about everything. So that just teaches us that age isn't a number, it's really an attitude. So it's a little tidbit for today. And as I was putting our talk together about our journey to awareness, which was a bit of a recap of a Dr. Grayson talk, I was thinking about Emerson, and I was thinking, Emerson wanted us to be the individuals, right, and our authentic selves. In 1989, Madonna, of all people, said, "Express yourself." You probably all remember. And it's almost like she and Emerson were on the same wavelength. Both were urging us to release the unique song that is within us, to express yourself, be who you were meant to be, or try to discover that passion or whatever that music is inside of you. Madonna might have been more into voguing than transcendentalism, but the core message is pretty much the same. Express yourself, be authentically you. The road to true healing and change, we all want healing, right? Louise taught us all healing is self-healing. And, all of us are longing for a bigger life, a more expressive life, to tap into that authentic person that we've come here to be. We want things to get better. We want things to improve in different areas of our lives. And most of us want to evolve, and we want to grow, and we want to consciously have some control over our life. And you can do that in this teaching. Ernest Holmes said there's power for good in the universe, and you can definitely use it. And as you get involved in the teaching, we show you how to use it. We teach you about affirmative living. We teach you about affirmative prayer. We teach you that you're not powerless, but you can have control over a lot of the things that are happening in your life. So Holmes would say there's power for good that we can use. His thing is, he was always saying we're all using it anyway, but most of the world probably is using it more destructively than they are constructively. So when you come into a teaching like this, you get centered, and you learn some of the spiritual axioms, and you learn how to think about your life. You learn how it works. You learn about the law of mind. You learn about divine principle, which Jimmy spoke about recently, which is this life that you have, this perfect life where you are connected with spirit, is responding to you because it has to. It's the law of life. It's the law of attraction. So maybe you're struggling sometimes you're in the teaching, and we're always suggesting that you let go of your outdated beliefs and the things that are holding you back, grievances. Sometimes we lament the past and we wish it were different, but that kind of spending our time in the past is very much a waste of time. Or maybe we're wanting to have more faith, just to embrace the changes that are going on in our life. Whatever it is that we want, the thing to understand is that we're all on a journey. Everybody here is evolving. We're always more than what we were a few years ago, a few days ago even. So everything that we've been through has had meaning. Everything that has happened to you has been a stepping stone to being where you are and to the consciousness that you have. It's very helpful if we can understand, as Louise taught us, that everyone is doing the best that they can with the information, the understanding, and the awareness that they have. That will allow you to give everybody a break. And it'll also allow yourself to give yourself a break. Because you've always done the best you could with the information, the understanding, and the awareness that you've had. And this is a call for self-forgiveness. Louise would say, we've spent our lifetimes criticizing ourselves. And the other thing we do is we've learned a lot of things as we've grown up. We have a lot of rigid rules that we impose upon ourselves and upon other people. And it's really keeping us, it's holding us back, it's binding us, up in such a way that we can't experience the joy that we could be living. So as you come in and join us week by week, we're going to encourage you to let go of all that stinking thinking, to let go of all the rigid beliefs, the shoulds, the ideas that, if you're looking at people and you're spotting all their problems, there's that old saying, if you spot it, you've got it. So in a spiritual, and what we do things spiritually here, we understand that all people are evolving, and people, again, even though we make mistakes, we all make mistakes, but in any given moment in time, we're doing the best we can with what we know. So we enter new moments, and we learn that all is well. And that's what we do. in our teaching, New Thought practitioners, New Thought ministers, New Thought, just people who practice New Thought, are training themselves to see the good in every moment and the good in every person. We realize that we live, we move, we have our being in this unified field of energy, as Deepak Chopra would say. We live, we move, we have our being in this divine essence. And we realize also that it responds to us. Once we know that it responds to us, and it accepts us at our own value, then it makes great sense for us to learn how to use this power. So Dr. Holmes says we have power greater than ourselves that we can use. So if we have this power to use, it makes great sense to start using it. So that's what we intend to do, that we can have a better life. As a part of our journey to awareness, I want to share Dr. Grayson's 9 Steps to Self-Realization. Dr. Grayson was the second pastor here. There have been 4 of us. I met him when I was a younger man, and he wrote a book that I had read. I think it was called The 10 Commandments. He was a good teacher, and I found this from one of his old manuscripts. So part of our goal is to become more aware, right, and to be more connected. So here was his prescription, the 9 steps to self-realization. The first step always to have growing self-realization is recognizing yourself as a part of God. And today we don't use the word God as much. Many of us use the word source or creative intelligence. But the first step in self-realization, according to Dr. Grayson, was finding a way for you to wake up in God and realize you are part of this source, to realize that you are one with this source. This has been a long journey for me. I'm a person who came out of a belief where God was separate, God was above, God was a male, God was many things. And today, through my own processes, and it's a very long story, I realized that this thing that I used to pray to above is a part of everything. And it's in all, it's in every person, in every place, in every country, in every culture. And everybody is a part of it. So in metaphysics, and if you move towards self-realization, you're waking up to the fact that I am a point of awareness within the mind of this thing. And not only am I a point of awareness, I'm an individualization of it. And whatever it is, I am. And so for everybody on the call, you're important. You are an individualization of this one mind, this one love, this one intelligence. It doesn't get any better than that. You're the whole bit. So that's a step towards self-realization. I don't know if you can accept it. Everybody in the call, it was a lot for me to accept in the beginning. I went into a religious science church and they were talking about God as the thing itself, and I wanted to bless myself. And because I had all these notions about it being elsewhere, above and beyond. And the good news is it's in everything. It's everywhere, all at once. Infinite intelligence, infinitely represented everywhere. So know for the first step in this self-realization process is that you are one with the one. You are a part of it. You're important. The next step that he suggested was that we practice the presence. And that's one of my favorite sayings. It's part of my training throughout all my years of studying metaphysics, is to practice knowing that this source, this higher power is here. And it's here now, and it's always here now. You can turn your back on it, it doesn't matter. You can turn your back on it 1,000 times, and it will always be here now. So be still and know that you're a part of it. You're part of this God, this energy. Practice the presence. Keep practice knowing it's here, it's now, it's in you, operating through you. And as you're knowing you're one with the one, I'll talk about self-realization in a religious science context. We're talking about understanding that each of us is a unique manifestation of the divine. Those were Dr. Grayson's words. To achieve self-realization, he said, we want to understand that each of us are unique. We are unique manifestations of the divine. We are one with it. And he emphasized this isn't about ego or vanity or anything like that. It's about realizing that we and our essence are pure, we're whole, and we are a direct reflection of God's essence. We are inlets of it and outlets of it. When you recognize this, you move from a place of self-doubt to a place of knowing yourself as having value and worth. Understanding that you have a divine purpose and you are inherently worthy of, you're worthy of everything. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of good friendships and abundance. The next point to realize in discovering the law, the point to realize is the universe responds to our thoughts and our beliefs. And Dr. Grayson said new thought principles are anchored in the understanding that there is a universal law at work always, a law that's unbiased and reacts directly to our deeply held thoughts and beliefs. All of us try to grasp this week by week in our classes. We understand the importance of cultivating positive, uplifting thoughts. Every Thursday you'll hear me ask the question, what has it been like being you? Because I'm trying to get people to pay attention to what they're creating with their consciousness. In this step towards realization, the teacher said, it's as if the universe is a mirror reflecting back to us the contents of our minds. So pay attention to what you're thinking. And never criticize yourself. And Louise would say, don't use this as a means of beating yourself up. If you find that you're negative or you're negative often, just notice and begin releasing the need for the negativity and wherever you can, neutralize the negative thought, replace it with a positive affirmation. Do that. And then we'll teach you more about affirmative prayer in other lessons. And that's where you take the time and the effort of really neutralizing these negative thoughts. But the point he was trying to make here is we discover the law. And the law is really the law of cause and effect, where you know that the universe is responding to every thought you think. The next point of realization in his list of 9 is observing the profound effects of our thoughts. He said the power of our thought. And he asked the question, have you ever noticed how a day can turn around just based upon a change of your attitude? Thoughts aren't just fleeting things that disappear into the ether. Thoughts have weight, energy, and can manifest and do manifest in tangible ways. Understanding the power of thought means recognizing that our internal dialogue will directly shape our external realities. Again, that's something we go over every Thursday in our Louise Hay class. Our thoughts can act also as barriers to our dreams. You might have great ideas and you might have great talent and you can sabotage yourself with your own consciousness. I have an old minister friend who used to talk about another minister who was having problems, saying she's tripping herself up with her consciousness. And I think we all can do that. We have great plans and dreams, and we will achieve them a lot more quickly if we can get rid of the negatives, the doubts, the fears, the things that are holding us back. A next step towards greater awareness and realization is realizing our thoughts not only affect our lives, but also the lives of others. This realization is about having some empathy and realizing that we're interconnected with everybody. That goes right back into our discussion about oneness. There's not a spot where God is not. Well, that would suggest that the universe and this God energy is in everyone. And every encounter is going to be a holy encounter. So remember that when you're interacting with people. Remember that when you have a need to be right. We don't need to be right. Let people be the way they are. And this realization, again, is about giving people a break. You don't have to have the last word. It's about empathy and interconnectedness. When we harbor a lot of negative thoughts or judgments about people, places, or things, it not only hurts you, but it affects our relationship with other people, and it can ripple outward and affecting people's self-image and their behavior too. And on the other side of the coin, when we're really working the teaching ourselves and practicing it and believing the best in someone, anyone, and we send people love and positive thoughts, it can add to their success. So we believe in visualizing good things for people. We can be lifters rather than leaners. We can be a support. We can lift people up. Another teacher of mine said, religious scientists, truth students are lifters. We're here to have the positive thing to say. We're here to cheer people on. We're not here to criticize. Our thoughts have the power to heal ourselves and others. The next realization was the fifth, where Dr. Grayson was speaking about our mind's vast unconscious realm. And he said our thoughts go deep and they influence from within. And he tried to explain it. I've done this in classes too, thinking of ourselves as an iceberg, our mind, and what's visible is always the tip of the iceberg, but beneath the waters lies the unconscious. And the unconscious is the place where our thoughts, those deep-seated beliefs and patterns. So the greater part of us is unconscious, and then there's that part of us, just the tip, which maybe is 10% or something, where that's the part where we think. We think new ideas, but they have to go into the unconscious, and so it's important to be thinking new thoughts. And when you're doing an affirmation that I'm whole and healthy, and then something comes back at you that suggests, no, I'm not, that's where we have to do our work, because we have to wrestle with what lies beneath. And affirmative prayer is the time, the art, and the method of negating and refuting and neutralizing those inner beliefs that have been with us for a long time. So it can take some work. So this realization, Dr. Grayson said, is about recognizing to truly change your reality, you got to go deeper. Affirmations are nice. They're very helpful, especially because when you build them up and you take them in and you believe them, they will have power. You will start to have demonstrations. But for you to really work this and keep working at it, you want to learn how to do affirmative prayer and take some more time with the process. He said we must delve deep to uncover and address those hidden beliefs that very well could be holding us back. We must oftentimes keep working on our affirmative prayers, continue working on releasing the negatives as they come up. You might think you've done something and healed something, and you might have taken some layers of it, and then there's some remnant of it that comes up again. And so you deal with it. I'm always gladdened by Louise Hay's thought on this. She said it's only a thought you're having, and a thought can be changed. So we do our work in consciousness, and we make progress, and when things come up, we deal with them as soon as possible. The next realization in our journey to awareness is our universal connectedness. And what he was saying there is we're all part of a grand consciousness that's moving life, if you can think of it in a bigger way. The universe and the consciousness of humankind, this grand, vast consciousness is moving everything forward. And he said every person, every being, every atom is interconnected in this vast web of existence. And it isn't just a poetic idea, it's a profound truth. When we think, when we all think, when we feel, when we act, it's part of a larger dance of energy and consciousness. So this isn't just you, this is all of us together. When we think, when we act, when we feel, it's all part of a larger dance of energy and consciousness. And if we're able to recognize this universal connectedness, which I think many of you can, that we all realize that we're part of each other, this fosters a sense of belonging. Each of us are interconnected and we're all in this together. And furthermore, it fosters a sense of responsibility and greater love for life. Louise was famous for saying, "I love the world," because the world is a part of her and part of us. I love the world the way it is. So we recognize this universal consciousness, connectedness, and that we all belong to, and we have a responsibility for. The next realization was the physical world is a manifestation of thought, which seems to follow what we just spoke of. Dr. Grayson asserted our world is a manifestation of our collective thoughts. So he was talking there about our collective consciousness, the sum of all the thoughts and beliefs that shape the world, and said that this is evident in societal trends, cultural beliefs, global events. And he maintained by changing our individual thought patterns and then our collective thought patterns, we together influence and change the very fabric of our shared reality. Number 8 is our realization that we are one with Source and we're one with perfect ideas. There exists a universal wellspring of wisdom, knowledge, and inspiration. We are one with infinite knowledge, creative mind, creative activity. And when we quiet our minds through meditation, through prayer or contemplation, we're able to tap into this source. Spirit is alive within all of us, and we have direct access to it. So as we learn to be still and know that we're one with this one, information comes to us. This realization that we are one with universal intelligence, perfect foundational ideas, encourages us to seek guidance from this infinite reservoir. So you don't really have to go off and look far and wide, because deep at the center of your being is all information and everything you'll ever need. So we encourage people to do things like sit, meditate, do affirmative prayer, journal, because you'll access the information you need. This realization encourages us to do just that and trust that the perfect ideas and solutions are always within our reach and absolutely available to us. The 9th realization is about choice and knowing that we have free will. My mother's favorite saying throughout her life is, "It's entirely up to you." And she had tremendous wisdom. Everything's up to us. Amid all the laws of the universe, one of our most profound gifts is free will. We are free to choose to select our thoughts, decide our reactions, and dictate our actions. And there's going to be a consequence to the choice. Our teaching encourages us, Ernest Holmes encourages us to use this power constructively, expansively, and to pay attention to what we're thinking about, because otherwise, if we're dwelling upon negativity, what you dwell about is going to come about. So we learn to really pay attention to our thinking and get better and better at catching ourselves and sitting in meditation and allowing ourselves to understand that we live, move, and we have our being in God activity, Source, and to allow our ideas to commune with its ideas and to let go of our lesser states of consciousness. So we're at choice. We have the choice to select. We have the select and decide our reactions, as I said before. Recognizing this, that we have this power to consciously craft our lives, knowing that at any moment we have the power to choose a new path, is very exciting. Because you might have been messing up for a long, long time. But starting here, starting now, you can make it all new. From my 12-step days when I first joined years ago, they said it's never too late to start your day over. Or Raymond Charles Barker would say, yesterday ended last night. So there's no excuse in the sense of just keeping same old, same old. Let this be the day where you say, I deserve better. and I can choose, and it's up to me, right? So we have this realization that you can choose again. You can think of yourself as whole and complete and loving and lovable, and you can think of yourself as worthy and worthwhile. So I will summarize a few of the things. Ernest Holmes said this: life is like a mirror, and it will reflect back to you what you think into it, plain and simple. We all here, everybody on these calls, we're all learning to pay attention to what we think, what we say. We're learning to be lifters. We're here looking to see the God, the good in every person, in every situation. And so that sums up our power. We have immense capability. I've told this story many times. I encountered a religious science practitioner in Boca. Her name was Mary, and I was coming out of my fundamental religious training, and she said, "You were the child of a lesser God, Greg." She said, "You were praying for help when you needed help, and and sometimes your prayers were answered, and sometimes they weren't." And it was kind of a long story, but the line that she said, which I quote often, she said, "The universe so loves you that it responds to your every single thought." So in New Thought, we understand that the universe so loves us, we are so one with the universe, that it responds to our every single thought. It doesn't miss a single one. So we have the power, we have the immense power, the capability to manifest our desires, to heal our wounds, to change our destinies. The only thing we need is the willingness to do it. Willingness is the key. As I've been told in many places, it's the key that opens every door. If we're willing to see the world with love, and to choose consciously to see the good in ourselves and others, and really practice this science of freedom, we can truly then harness every wonder that life can offer us. We possess all the power in the world to do this. And I encourage you in this lesson, and so did Dr. Grayson, to tap into the power which is yours, to shape not only your life, but to add to the collective consciousness of the entire world, uplifting everyone. Thank you so much for joining in our discussion today about your journey to awareness. Remember to shine your light everywhere, embrace your journey, and know that you're worthy of great things. And so we'll meet each other in a minute. I have a little thing from Dr. Holmes. Dr. Holmes might chuckle and say if he were here today, your thoughts might just be the best free real estate you've got. Why not build a palace? So now it's time to hear from all of you. This is our time together where you can share your thoughts, your good news, your demonstrations with the rest of the community. And so it is. Thank you.